Yeah, it's lit at the crib, you can stay. Me and Dre kick like kid and play. The way that she serving that cake, I gotta sit back and digest. What is going on? You and the two. It's your boy Trucker Will. We trucking it like always, trying to make this money, trying to make this dough, and we back in East St. Louis, at this pilot, about to get some fuel. So we're gonna talk about today and a couple other little things next on Trucking with Trucker Will. What is going on? You and the tube, we back, and we in Springfield now. We were at the fuel stop there in East St. Louis. Now, y'all, the fuel at that spot was like $1.70 for a gallon. So you know your boy filled up the tank. It only cost you like $245. So got some fuel, made it to Springfield. It was only 4 hours away after that fuel stop. So that was like the cheapest fuel I've seen anywhere. It was only like 17 cents added extra for IFTA stuff. So it was like real cheap fuel. East St. Louis. Truck stop, I think it was 313 in East St. Louis, right across the street from the racetrack area. Right across the street. So if you guys want cheap fuel, check that spot out. I'll put that down there at the bottom if you want cheap fuel. Now, you guys have heard a bunch of rhetoric about the coronavirus and how it's affecting the United States and things that are going on in the world. Now, I've been doing some research on it. You know, my wife is telling me some things about it. So I'm going to bring some information to you about it and how it pertains to us trucking and things that we need to look out for while we're out here on the blacktop and we're interacting with different people from all races, from all places around the country, how we can protect ourselves. So I got a video that I'm going to put up here for you guys, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll be right back.
How does it transmit? Where does it want to go? And let's protect ourselves. I'm Dr. Peter Lynn. I'm a family physician in Toronto, Canada. The coronavirus is a family of viruses that can cause as mild things as just a common cold, all the way up to SARS or MERS. These are these bad pneumonias that we're talking about. And basically what these viruses are, they look like a tennis ball with all these spikes sticking out of it. And depending on the type of spike, it allows that virus to attach to certain places. So some viruses, they have the spike that attaches to your nose. So basically you just get a common cold. But the SARS virus and this new virus that we're talking about has the spike that allows it to attach to the cells in your lung. And when it attaches there, it puts in information to make photocopies of itself. So it uses our equipment to make more viruses.
I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus.
Most of the coronaviruses live in animals. In this particular case, it was from Wuhan. There was a fish market where they were selling live animals. And the thought is that the virus was in a live animal, then it crossed into a human. But then what we found was that people were getting sick in terms of healthcare workers, in terms of family members that were looking after them, which now meant that the virus can pass from human to another human. Just like all viruses, it needs to reach a target, which is your lung. And it has to get there with your help. It has no feet and no wings. So therefore it needs us to move it there. So that's why we keep saying, don't hang around sneezy people because you're gonna breathe it in. And don't touch your face because that's how the virus is gonna get in. The masks are helpful, but they're not necessary because they're leaky. The ones that you and I buy basically have pockets here, so therefore the virus can get in. What the masks really do is they stop us from touching our face. If you're sick, we tend to mask you, so therefore you're not spewing out the viruses to other people sitting around you. The true people that have the real masks are the N95. Those are sealed. These are for the doctors that may be caring for the patients. So in the beginning, the coronavirus will cause kind of like flu-like symptoms or a cold. So people just get the stuffy nose, that kind of thing. But you'll understand that as soon as that virus starts manufacturing in your lung cells, they're producing all these copies of the virus, all of a sudden now you kill the lung cells. So now you can't exchange oxygen. And that's why one of the early symptoms is people get very short of breath and they tend to have a difficult time breathing, and that's why they end up in hospital. So currently, unfortunately, we don't have a direct treatment for the coronavirus. So we don't have a medication that can kill it off. And so it's really supportive. So in other words, the patient can't breathe, we give them oxygen, help them to breathe. They can't drink, so therefore we give them fluids to support them. Their kidneys begin to shut down, we help them with all those things. So it's a very supportive process. This is a new virus that we've never seen before. So our immune system, our army, are having a hard time figuring out what to do. So usually what we have to do is we make something called antibodies. So these are things that can grab onto the spikes that we see on the virus, and it will get rid of the virus for you, and that will actually bring you back to good health. So therefore the elderly may have a worse outcome, and of course the young children. So the babies, their immune system is not so good either, so they may not make those antibodies as well. So just remember, your hands may be with virus. Virus cannot hurt you because it can't get through the skin, but the moment I do this, now I've brought the virus right to where it wants to go. So let's remember not to touch our hands to our face. So let's say you think that you might have been on a plane or you might have bumped into somebody that has it. What should you do? So the first thing is to contact a healthcare worker to tell them that potentially you have it. If you're feeling symptoms and you're going to go into a facility, call ahead. Okay, so whether you're calling the paramedics or whether you're calling the hospital or your doctor, just mention that you were on a flight. If you don't have any symptoms, then what we do is a little bit of a self-quarantine. In other words, we can just keep you away from other people, and so you don't go into parties, don't go with your friends, don't go into public transportation. So we can contain it very easily by making sure that you do a self-confinement, so to speak, for the, let's say, 7 to 14 days is the longest incubation time. So after that, if you're feeling well, then you don't have anything to worry about. So if we get the facts right, then we don't have to be overly worried, but we do the right things so that we don't get the virus ourselves and that we don't pass it on to others. And if we look after each other in this way, this virus will have nowhere to go. It needs us to move it, it needs us to make copies for it, and if we don't help it, then the virus will stop. So we have the power to do that right now.
So I hope that video, guys, was informative for you guys. I hope that it helps you guys protect yourself from this coronavirus, even though it's kind of like, I don't know if it's going to affect the trucking industry too much, but some information, video that my mom sent me. So I was like, all right, I'll look at it. It seemed like some pretty good information, as you guys can see back here in the back. I'm at the caves in here in Springfield. So they're getting me unloaded early, which is great. So it means I can be ready for a reload real early in the morning, so I can keep on making this money, making this dough. You see this truck slide is taking us back. But anyway, guys, I hope that information was valid and it gave you something to think about. Remember, be safe, and remember, be blessed, less stress, keep the left door closed, right foot down, only when it's safe. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell. Give me a thumbs up if you like my content of this video. Give me a thumbs down if you don't, and don't forget to leave a comment. It also helps the channel grow. See you guys on the blacktop. Later.